Oh, the letter verification of compliance with the legal.
Yep, posted on the 24th at our window and on the website.
Okay, roll call.
Brophy,
Yes.
Zinsky,
Yes.
Hose, Schaefer,
Here.
Kraus, White,
Here.
Tofa.
Let's see in the other room.
Police commissioners. He'll attend if it gets done in time,
Any agenda changes or corrections?
that I'm aware of.
Any public comments? Here, new business. Item A, presentation of 2025 A note proposal by Ayers Financial Consultants.
Oops. There. So you should have his report in your packet, starting on page 2.
You're going to hit the plus there and make that bigger so we can see that right there.
Yeah.
There you go. I
Yeah,
can
it's
see
just,
it.
it's for
Portrait.
portrait. Yep.
All right. Good evening to all of you. Try to keep this brief and feel free to ask questions as we move along if you'd like. Anything that's bigger, you want a little more granularity. But when I was last year, we discussed going out to proposals to bank lending to do two things: to refinance a portion of last year's note anticipation note that was issued for street stormwater and then water projects associated with some reconstruct. The sewer part of that, you largely got state loan associated with that portion. The rest of it was the ineligible portion. And so we were looking to refinance a part of that prior issue and turn it into permanent financing, which then also brings levy authority, whereas the prior one did not have any levy authority. It had a payment coming due that would have required essentially cash on hand. And so we're turning that into permanent financing plus adding some new money. You'll recall we looked at both borrowing capacity and tax impact. You're tight for a little bit. It's not just the borrowing capacity aspect, but you had certain covenants attached to some of your financing from last year. But we don't have any other, initial plans. You move forward in time a year and you get back some additional capacity and you'll get a wider gap between what your limitation is and what you have available to you. I think the intent also is to take what is left of that interim note for water and turn that into permanent financing using a water revenue obligation, most likely in the next calendar year. So that will make one tranche of interim financing go away. And then for those that were here for the review board meeting, you still have the interim debt associated with all the TID 3 financing that will remain in place for a little while to see how things unfold there. So again, everything's in phases and you just have to have time to get between those phases. So we did go out and proposals were solicited. You got 4 back. The Bank of Elma was the best proposal at 4.81%. They happen to be the current holder of the 24 note that we are partially refinancing. And so I think they had an interest in just maintaining some of the loan balance and an interest earning asset as well. Out of the 4 bids, 2 were your local banking partners. Partners Bank was the next best at 4.9%. Johnson Financial Group 5.45. Citizens State Bank of Loyal at 5.58. I would say all of these are fairly representative of where banks are pricing things right now. Some of the larger banks are a little more aggressive. And you might see something a little closer to 4, but that's been more of a rare occasion here recently. I would say this is better than the estimates, but again, the estimates were largely based on what we had been seeing in the market at that time. I think when we built this out for you initially, the preliminary estimate was somewhere around 5.5%. And so, what we do at the time we get the proposals in is we take where you were with the estimate and then re-amortize it at the actual rate. And so in this case, you end up kind of paying it off a little faster because you're paying more principal with each payment versus interest. So that's all positive. Beyond that, I don't have a ton to report. The last 2 pages show the final payment schedule. The annual payment requirements are about $188,000 a year. This will be extended and refinanced prior to the balloon in 2035. So that'll get extended to its full term. You get 20 years from the date of issue. So ostensibly, this is intended to run a 20-year amortization through effectively 2045. So again, at some point that will be extended. You retain the right to prepay and or refinance at any time after closing at face value. And so if there's an opportunity to refinance for savings, you can absolutely do that. And typically the way we've approached it is if you move forward in time, we try to achieve the savings, but then also kick out that balloon further in time or just take it out to its maximum maturity at some point in the future as well. And so you retain that ability as you go forward in time. If for some reason you have cash and you want to prepay, you can do that as well. And then tax impact wise, we're just a little bit inside of what you looked at last time we were here. But you'll recall we had some conversations around structure and that sort of thing. And the decision was made that let's just do the level payment structure, understanding that there will be a tax impact no matter what. And you may have some additional borrowing as you go forward in time. And so there's some mild step downs, but I think it was anticipated all along, given the size of the project that you undertook, that you would largely look like this for the foreseeable future. So you have an actual number for your budget for debt service, and so you should include that as you move along in time here for budget consideration. And then also when it comes time to prepare the levy limit worksheet, happy to work with Chris to make sure all the numbers are accurately portrayed on that and that you get the right number into the county for levy purposes. And the state may have some questions too, and you have all the documentation to support the prove it up, show me your work sort of thing. And so if they have questions, you have all that documentation to be able to achieve that. So you do have the right to do what you want with the proposals. They are just that. This isn't like a low bid situation. And so you can alter the terms here by choosing somebody else to work with. But what you have in front of you is a resolution that assumes that you move forward with Bank of Alma as the low interest cost proposal that you have in hand.
So how big a bank is Alma?
Bank of Alma?
Alma isn't big enough.
Alma's not big.
And spit across it.
Actually, I do know a little bit about Bank of Alma. They have a number of different charters. The Bossard family owns those various banks, the Cranberry Titans. So size-wise, I can't tell you off the top of my head, but I will tell you they're very well priced when it comes to just credit, buying loans. And they're very active. So, if we go out with proposals for, on behalf of clients, they're on the list, and 9 times out of 10,
I'm not complaining. I
Yeah.
just find it interesting.
Right. They're bigger than you think. And then they have a number of other charters under a holding company that they leverage as well, depending on geography. So, but historically, they've been very active, and I'm sure there's a number at which they can't go over, but I haven't seen it really yet. So
I mean, if they're doing well, that's fine.
yeah.
I mean, it's just Alma. Well, again,
Yeah.
I've been through there
Yep.
many times.
Doesn't take long to get through it either.
I usually don't even slow down, but. Hey, you're only doing 30 again.
Well, I have a good barbecue joint. I don't know if it's still there. You need to actually come to a complete stop and eat something. Spot.
Any questions, Brad?
Nope.
Okay, then we will move on to item B. Discussion possible action on resolution 2025-6. Resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of a $2,170,000 general obligation promissory note, Series 2025A.
So that's the resolution that starts on page 7. I have,
Goes on forever.
yeah,
Page 13.
it's a long one, but with the supporting documentation.
7 to 13 proposals on 15.
Yeah, similar to the resolutions that we passed last year for the patient notes. Just basically saying, how much we're borrowing, where we're borrowing it from, what are the terms. That's provisions.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
And we need a roll call on
Yeah, we can go.
this. Roll call?
Brophy,
Yes.
Jazinski.
Yes.
Bose, Schaefer,
Yes.
Kraus, White,
Yes.
Tofa.
Yes. Motion carried.
I'll get you to sign this tomorrow.
Well, yeah, I'll be in.
Just a proposal form too, Chris, that you wanna, don't worry about it now, but I'll either send it to you directly, or if you don't have it, otherwise there's a proposal form to execute as well.
Oh, yeah, I
From the
think,
bank directly.
yeah, we got that later, or
So-
later today, we got that after, not so long ago.
Page 15.
Okay, item C, discussion possible action on Quarles and Brady's scope of engagement for the issuance of $2,170,000 village dispenser general obligation promissory note series 2025A.
This is really here just in order for me to connect all the dots. We didn't have an opportunity to approve this proposal at a board meeting, although we did get, you did give me verbal permission at a previous board meeting to have them come on board to help us with this loan. Primarily to just make sure that the tax implications of the loan are all are known and everything is done properly, so we don't get in any trouble there. So I just wanted to bring this before the board for their official stamp of approval. Just as a matter of course.
So moved.
Moved,
Second.
second by Jeremy.
And there is a cost associated with this, so, yeah, it's, $15,000 or $16,000, $15,900.
9, yeah.
Yeah, that fee was included in the.
It's in the size of the issue, correct?
So, it's not a line item that we have to pay for, but was included in
Loan.
the.
Roll call on this one?
Brophy,
Yes.
Jazinski.
Yes.
Folds, Schaefer.
Yes.
Kraus, White,
Yes.
Tofa.
Yes. Motion carried. Item D, discussion of 2026 budget.
Yeah, I just wanted to run through some of the things that I looked at. Last time we met, we talked a little bit about payroll. This time I just wanted to hit some of the capital items since we have now approved the loan that we'll use to pay for some of these capital items, because in addition to the refinancing of the note anticipation note from last year for Park Street, we are adding additional $450,000 of new capital to pay for some specific projects that will be included in the 2026 budget. So those are, we don't have the single page. I didn't put it in your packet yet because I hadn't finished it till just shortly. So those additional capital items, total $450,000. It includes $190,000 for Willow Drive. We got a grant to complete Willow Drive, 80-20 grant. And that $190,000 represents the remainder of our 20% share of that project when it's done.
So
So
it's still on schedule for next year,
we will not actually get word till
till next year.
till, no. And again, just for clarity, that is a state project that was bid by the DOT. We are partners in that project, but it is run through the state. And so they are getting bids back early next month. And then we will be informed of what the bids were and whether or not the DOT awarded the project. I have not heard back from them since their request to postpone the project to a later date. So I'm assuming that that it is still on schedule. And that hopefully the bids come back within their budget. We did have a little bit of money budgeted for Jefferson Street to take care of that stub street. Help out that part of the neighborhood with the project that we did with the demolition of the water plant. And quite frankly, that street should have been taken care of years ago.
Mhm.
Um,
That
That
little gravel portion that went past well house number 3, next to Dick Schultz's house. It is not our intention to pave that as a 50-foot wide street, but basically just to clean that up a little bit.
That was with that includes, that's for, what you call the repair work on the lot, or that's just the street?
No, that's just for the street.
Did you talk to the boys about? Haven't heard, but us kind of taking care.
We will finish landscaping next year ourselves. Our guys had said that, you know, they would like to maybe rent a particular finisher to help that, something that would probably fit on our toolcat, as opposed to just, you know, run across it with a bucket. But yeah, they wanted to be able to do that themselves. And then the drain, there's a drain there that we'll be replacing actually, hopefully this fall yet. On Jason's side of the lot, there was a drain in this northeast corner of the lot that had failed. And there's ponding back there, so that was another thing that we had expressed to the neighbors there, that we'd get that done before, you know, eventually we sold the lot. So that we didn't leave a problem for the house to have to pick up. The Robert Street project is $100,000. That is that should cover the village's share of the cost of the Robert Street. So
It's done.
the first layer of asphalt
First
has
layers.
been put down.
First layer.
Yeah,
I never go to
it looks
that.
pretty nice. The second layer will go on in the spring. That's Casey's intention.
So why are they doing them side streets? They're doing 30, 40 feet.
They did to the utilities. So the idea was, in order to protect those utilities, there's a manhole and some water valves in those areas. Not a manhole, just water valves.
Water valves, and you're
Yeah.
talking on where the
The north side of Roberts, where Cheris is gonna
where
make a
that
loop.
loopy street is.
Yeah. The east side of Cheris went up, not quite as far. It only went up a small stretch. The west side went up a little bit further because that was where they terminated the water shutoff valves, and they wanted to protect those valves.
I think about that they've paved down to.
And then they paved down past the water plant. Yep. And quite frankly, that's Casey's choice. It's his subdivision. He's
He can do what he wants.
managing the subdivision. We have agreed to cost share the construction of the road. So we will be submitting for reimbursement at some time. And our engineers will have an opportunity to review his bid tabs to make sure that he's, you know, really representing his cost to construct that street. But he has indicated that $100,000 should cover the village's share of what he's done so. And then the last thing that we've included in that total is the new plow truck. The guys were originally hoping to spend a little bit less than that on a machine that they found in Marshfield, but then
With that new used one. that
That
it's
transmission.
got that air
Saw that.
assist transmission that really isn't suited for residential plowing.
No, is this the one with the chemical tank on the side that will?
Yeah,
Or is that the one they're looking at? That's the-
actually, the last two that they've looked have had Brian
Brian
injection
tank.
machines on.
Those are really nice when you showed me. It really set up nice.
But we're not gonna use
We're
Brian.
not, no, we can rip that Brian tank off and sell it.
Yeah, I don't know. Will had talked to Marshfield and thought that
Marshall was Brian.
they use it, and he had been told that Marshfield really mainly uses it on the long stretches of road that has a lot of traffic. But Will thought maybe to give it a try on some of our intersections might not be a bad idea. Because we always end up going and salting intersections after the fact.
Mhm.
I haven't heard anything good about it.
I haven't either, but
Some of these townships around here tried that
okay,
and they didn't have success.
sure.
They
Yeah,
did it one winter and the next winter they quit.
I mean, it's not a no cost option just because the equipment would come with the truck. You also have to have either the facilities to manufacture your own brine,
Get it.
or, you know, if we were to get it from Marshfield potentially, but
Yeah.
um,
I mean, if it's on there, you know. there's no
I wasn't opposed to trying.
No harm, no foul. I mean, literally do this cross street and then don't do that cross street and see what the difference is.
Right.
Yeah, if this one is cleared off nice, and if they're relative, the same sun, and try to apples to apples comparison, if it's,
We're driving on it all the time on
Yeah.
the highways.
It's one thing on the state highway or something, we've got traffic, but them are being done by. the
Yeah,
state
I mean,
anyway.
Right.
13 and 98 they're being done, but
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't, has Brian been used on 98 as much? I don't know if I've ever noticed it.
on 13, they use it, but I don't.
then 13 they do, I don't know if
Yeah.
Park County comes over here and does it.
Live on 98 and I can't remember. But yeah, if we get a machine that has it, we could try it, but, we're certainly not going to use it just because.
No, you could buy a couple, so you could try it, buy a few loads from Marshall and apply it and see what the difference is.
Yeah.
It depends on the price.
That's why I undercoat all my vehicles now.
Well, you have to.
I mean, the brine's okay, you know, it makes when salt adhere to it, so you get it on your vehicle, the salt's gonna adhere to your vehicle. Just,
Those are the major capital items for 2026. I did list out a few minor items. Trees, specifically in the Bruckner area, perhaps. I have them applying for a grant from, CN Railroad for beautification of communities with, their railroad passing through it. We have to spend $5,000 on trees anyway to maintain our tree city status, so I thought why not bootstrap that with a grant that might match that. We also will probably be spending some money on walking trails. If we do chipped trails, there would be very minimal cost to us besides having someone come in and clear the path that we're gonna make. So there's not a lot of money necessarily for that, but that is something we wanted to make sure you guys knew that we would be including in the budget for next year. As is the culvert at the Spark Park. Spark Court, maybe I should say. We talked to Terry last year and he was looking for a culvert to cross, separate from the culvert that serves the regular art park facility. And I did kind of put him off a little bit. I wanted to see how serious he was about it, quite frankly, but they are still committed to wanting to do that, so. I don't know how the board feels about it, but there might be the potential to ask Spark to help pay for that if you felt it was appropriate. And then the last thing I put down here on was the additional shooting range needs. So, most of the shooting range, needs would be covered by donations. It was the original intention that we not have. So, not spend
That would be all donations of.
How much have we spent out there?
Spend anything on public, you ever donations.
Yeah, we've only approved $116,000 so far, $111,000. We do have another pay request that I'll anticipate getting for the next board meeting in November that will bring us pretty close to the $160,000.
We had 60 in that we got from Spencer Shooting Club that we spent some of that money already.
The requirement of the grant that we got from the DNR is to document in kind or monetary contributions at the time of reimbursement of the pay request. So we're demonstrating use of those funds as we submit. But by the time we've spent their $160,000, we will have spent
Our 60.
most of, if not all of what was already previously donated. So next year, we'll basically be starting from scratch.
They're accepting in kind like personnel hours and stuff for that as well, or not?
They are, yep.
Okay.
So we will be able to document that. Right now, we don't have much to document, but certainly in the future, if we do, even like the staining that Mike did this last week, and we are gonna get some signage to put up around the perimeter of the range. And all of that kind of stuff.
They gotta find a gate.
We can look for a gate too.
Find some farmer's got one laying around. It's deal.
they got these guys driving around trying to sell these things to farmers all the time.
I know where there is one.
We got a small gate. We gotta get a gate up front.
How big?
Just to go across the road.
How big?
Um,
That road,
20 feet,
25 feet.
depending on where you want to put the pivot point. I think it is,
That wide, wouldn't you want 2 pivot points?
Mm-hmm.
Two what?
Pivot.
Yeah, it's
So you can open,
two to come
yeah,
together.
if you get two small ones,
you could if you wanted to, for sure.
It'd be easier that way, probably easier to
It's
find.
20 footers.
That's pretty long.
That's a big gig.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we get to 212. 12s would be fine.
Um. Yeah, because I think it was our intention to close the range during the winter months.
Yeah, well, at least at night, and then, if you know, like right now, it's not open, but it's open. So people are, I mean, I've been kind of keeping an eye up, but there's no one out there yet, but the second those benches go down.
Yeah.
Someone will be out there.
Actually, to that end, and since we're talking about it now, Phil, would you maybe want to schedule a Parks Committee meeting
Sure.
in anticipate, potentially before the November 10 or November 10 meeting or maybe the week of or whatever. And we will go through these questions and come up with some range rules.
Yeah, you had them up.
I had them up previously. Yep. As far as who's on the Parks Committee,
Me.
that's Phil, Al, and
November 3rd. Monday,
that would be fine with me.
6:30.
Good for you,
Different
Brad?
day.
Is the daylight savings better?
It is. Daylight savings on the second.
Yeah, it's fine.
Your hours change the daylight?
I'm off because I'm going home,
Oh,
but it'll be dark by then.
it will be dark.
It'll be dark by then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, doing 6:30?
6:30 on November
Yeah.
3rd.
And as long as it's the Parks and Buildings Committee,
Mhm.
you have, I'm kind of like jumping out of line, but you were thinking about an assessment at the old village hall?
Yeah, we have not
That's something we should,
we have not had an opportunity yet to have our engineers take a look at it. When the structural engineer comes to sign off on the well number 7 project, he was gonna swing by SKP and just give it a quick glance. He wasn't gonna charge us anything for it. It wasn't necessarily even gonna go in if he didn't need to. But he was gonna look at the exterior of the building and then see, like what does it look like from the outside? Go in if he felt it was appropriate and just give us an estimate on how much it would cost to do an actual structural assessment. So until he,
the floor inside too, or no, just the outside structure?
no, the SKG was mainly concerned about the floor, the windows and the doors. They wanted to replace the floor. And they were told that that was gonna be pretty expensive if they want to replace that court throughout the entirety of the building. And then they wanted to do doors and windows too. But he spent $150,000 on that building.
Band-Aid?
It'll cost more than that, because you start tearing the windows out. Or you're gonna have to bring them bathrooms up, like they're supposed to be. They're not ADA compliant by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, they did add a bathroom on the first floor to be ADA.
Yeah, there's a
So
single.
they're okay that way, I believe. But yeah, depending on how far you took the windows, it could be. You might
But
be,
if we don't,
maybe they
what are you
just,
gonna do with the building falling?
well, and that's, so on the 5th,
Well, you remember it's supposed to be torn down.
Oh, it was?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that. When was that?
it was,
When this was built.
Go look at the block in the side.
it was, I wasn't here. I think it was in 97.
It was, right.
Yeah,
That's what they told me.
technically it was condemned at the time for the purposes of continuing to use it as office space for the village. That's why this building.
That was the ploy. That's why the library's here.
I was a sophomore in high school.
I know, but I'm just saying,
I think it was actually working for this one guy.
Yeah.
Think.
So November 5th, Bill, SKG is having their next monthly meeting. And Bill, who is technically the SKG representative, has agreed to come with me to that board meeting, but you are more than welcome to attend as well.
And is that, do you think we'll get the initial
I
look at from the engineer prior to that date?
maybe.
It'd be nice to go in with some number.
And if we don't have anything really to share, I'm happy to just go to that meeting by myself and just collect information.
Just going over. our
Yeah, I apologize. We're basically out here.
What meeting is it?
It's Kids Group has their monthly meeting November 5th.
Yeah,
I don't have the time.
okay.
Put down 6:30. I did put down 6:30. They would love to solicit as many people that might want to come and become board members too. So if you have any inclination to serve on SKG, they're looking for more people to not specifically volunteer to work at, the concession stand, but take an active role in the management of SKG.
Are
Pardon?
they really hurting, remember?
I think they have a couple vacancies that they have not been able to fill. So they have put out an ask for people that want to participate. But again, to take an active role in the management of the organization, not just, help out at their specific events. The startup date for the well has been pushed back at least 2 weeks. And so I don't know when the engineer will be able to look at that. That
We're
structural
looking at
engineer.
middle November for startup.
Yeah. And that was primarily prompted by a delay in the cabinetry for the electrical panels, not the guts. All the parts and interiors.
I'm
were-
just trying to, it's kind of self-serving, but I'm trying to make sure I have yes.
Yeah,
Here's
we're
your-
also waiting for internet over.
Yeah,
That's the other thing that's really holding us.
Sure. Gotta make sure they get down to use that together for you guys.
Sure. But yeah, that's all I needed for. As far as, the reason we were setting the Parks Committee was primarily to,
Yeah.
come up with rules for the shooting.
Shooting range.
And then just to touch a little bit on the utilities, on the water side, we don't have any major capital improvements, for the water side of things. Well, 7 and
What
well.
about that catwalk?
Well, that'll be a part of this project, so we will make that decision. Hopefully at the next board meeting, we'll have enough information to make that decision.
Catwalk or the lift.
Catwalk or the lift.
I went out and looked.
Did we hear back from Town Country or Max?
As far as
if
the-
they were gonna help with some of,
He reached out to his bosses and I believe they got indication that there would be some help there. Yeah. I don't think they didn't come up with a dollar amount. I mean, they don't have the cost. We haven't picked the final solution yet, so, but they did seem accepting that they could take some of that. Except for I did want to mention again, what Brian said was the potential refinancing of that other note for Park Street would include the water portion. Turn that into long-term debt for the water department. The sewer department, we don't have any major purchases planned, no major street projects or any rehab. Except Ethan would like to purchase a zero turn. So we're gonna about $20,000, up to $20,000. The last zero turn we spent about 10 and got a machine that was about half of the weight, that we really
You're
wanted.
gonna spend at least 15. Closer to 20.
Yeah, I think so.
Commercial.
For a commercial.
Yeah, you gonna check with
Don't
Jim
buy residential.
Jim.
Miller?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, in fact, they already had, they had found one of the size that they were looking for $120,000. And then I was going to encourage them strongly to get a bagging attachment. We never got a bagger for these units in the past. I think that was a mistake. There's always times when we wish we had a bagger. Doesn't mean we have to bag everything, but especially the medians out on Highway 13, around Veterans Park, around this building, that the truck used anyway. The bagger would be pretty nice. And then as far as the timing goes for the budget and the levy, if I presented our draft budget at our November 10th meeting, then what we would do is we'd put that out, we'd publish it and put that out for public hearing, that we could approve it on our, well, either a couple of dates I picked here. We have to wait 15 days to approve the budget after it's been published. So we could do it as early as perhaps November 25th or 26th, or December 1st is that Monday. So with deer hunting and the holidays, we can wait till December 1st. But if you wanted to get it done a little earlier, we could potentially do that. So if setting a special meeting for December 1st made sense,
Probably.
Yeah. Anything else? Any other comments or questions?
I guess I would like just
So we got a meeting on
if everybody
December
would,
1st.
if we would agree that budget hearing meeting would be first,
Yeah.
6:30.
December 1st,
December 1.
And if there are any things that I'm not including, you know, as far as either these capital items or things that we want to make sure we do, then let me know.
well, you got stuff in there for the trails, which we know we gotta keep at.
And I think our main focus is the bathrooms up at the stage and.
So 2026 will be a fundraising year. We won't actually pull the trigger on, we don't plan on pulling the trigger unless somebody came
Unless we
through
get a
with a
giant-
crazy donation.
Giant donation.
And push the engineers to get something done this winter. Yeah, we would not build anything in 2026, but would shoot for 2027. And we'll be, you know, applying for the DNR grant, the outdoor rec grants for the bathroom portion of that at least. And we'll apply for the whole thing, but
Could we have 7,000 investment already with?
Yeah.
Planning
yeah.
for recreation.
So the concrete pile, that's still in this year's budget?
It's still in the budget. If for some reason it doesn't happen this year, we can carry that over into next year. And hopefully by the time we approve this budget, we will know what his intentions are. I have called him every week for the past 3 or 4 weeks and talked to
get that done.
his daughter. And but I really do feel like he's just waiting until it freezes.
Yeah, until he's just
That's
frozen.
very
Yeah,
typical.
they got some big jobs.
Yeah, you know, they got to finish up the work they're doing, and he'd want to come in here after it freezes anyway. So if we get started mid-November, maybe, that would be just fine.
Nice to get that done so we could start using that next year.
Yeah, use it in a lot
Or
of
trail projects or free projects.
Yeah, there'll be a big stockpile.
Well, it goes quick. We had a big
That's the
stockpile
last-
last time and it didn't
Last
last
2
long.
years.
Yeah,
All last, that was 2 years.
Yeah, it didn't last long.
yeah. Well, there was a big street project associated with that too, wasn't there?
There was a couple street projects.
And the pickleball
Eaten-
court.
Yeah, got eaten up on.
And pickleball fits them too, but I mean, that's.
Oh, but that's where some of it went.
Okay, well, that's all I have.
Need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
This is for adjourning. Always coming late.
You talked to city out there for 20 minutes. All in favor, ready to say aye,
Aye.
opposed?
Second part to come out.
It's your butt, Chris.
So,
Brian, are you based out of
Same thing, but Chris, you don't have to pay,
I just seen your address on there. I'm like, that road